This will be the greatest atmosphere you have ever witnessed in a boxing ring.
Here we go.
Zepeda absolutely relentless.
Zurdo Ramirez fought like a Mexican southpaw.
Beautiful jab from Hitchens right there.
What a great performance.
He was just too good.
This is a championship fight.
But surprised you haven't got a cameraman working for you as well. Yeah,
that's a bit expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's something you do now. You're all bougie.
This is Charlie Parsons for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and live exclusively, well not exclusively, but also to the Zone app subscribers here in Riyadh. We're back. Mr. Frank Smith, I've got a smile on my face. It's been a minute. I've just been outside saying hello to everyone. I have missed it, in all honesty. How are you, sir?
I'm good, mate. I'm just glad you've graced us with your presence. You're getting a bit big time now, flying Thailand one day, Dubai the next day, then here. I mean, you know, I'm just glad you've still got time for us all, really.
I'm glad you've still got time for me. I've got a new channel now.
It's only because DAZN are involved. That's why.
We're on a humble 20,000
20,000?
subscribers.
How'd you get there so quickly?
Well, we had a few to start off with, but the Fury interview, if you didn't know, number 5 on trending.
Was it?
So that helped.
I was talking to him about his roast potatoes, weren't you?
Yes. Well, you know me. I like to be conversational.
Conversational, yeah.
Get stuff out of people, but also have a bit of fun in the process. How are you? How's life been? You've been to Equatorial Guinea, which is a bit rascal. How was that? Well,
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I've been to Equatorial Guinea. I went home for a day. Now I'm in Riyadh. Then I'm home for a few days. Then I'm away. So it's good, mate. Life is good. Enjoying the sunshine of Riyadh right now, mate.
That's a mad old passport stamp, that Equatorial Guinea. Yeah. Is that the coolest one in the collection?
Probably. I quite like the Japanese stamp as well.
Yeah, but it's not as exclusive.
No?
You know what I'm saying?
What should be exclusive?
Who's doing a little trip on a casual thing?
I reckon you might end up on a little trip to Equatorial Guinea.
I'm thinking maybe. Well, we'll go straight on to that then. Sonny Edwards said that Nontshinga's scared of fighting him. Could that be the fight in Equatorial Guinea?
No, Nontshinga's got a mandatory with the IBF.
Okay.
And he's got to do that. So that now is the focus. We are looking at him on that Equatorial Guinea show. But Sonny, we're looking. One of the things I was talking about for Sonny is possibly going back to the US. He built a lot of fans out there in the band fight. I think that'd be interesting to look at. We're looking to do a show in June in the US that he could go on. So, but the aim is to get Sonny back out active and keep him busy. He's obviously had time out the ring that he's had to have. He's been forced to. I think he's had a 3 or 4 month suspension following that fight. So from the commission. But he'll be back out very soon, hopefully in the summer.
What's the Equatorial Guinea Boxing Board of Control saying?
They're good. They love boxing. They've just built a new.
Have they had many events?
They've had 3 or 4 professional events. They built a new. So they basically built a new hub essentially as well for amateur boxing and the Federation of Boxing. They, it's a sport they love there, and hopefully we can get something over the line.
Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. Weird how the boxing world works. If we said this 12 months ago, even about the Tyson Fury fight, we probably would have laughed. We now sit here, days away, Francis Ngannou, an absolute man mountain. Just your initial thoughts. Friday night, by the way, we've got to say that because I think a lot of people are so sidetracked to boxing always being on a Saturday. But an absolutely monster clash. Huge fight.
You only have to look at the size of the two of them. I can't wait for them to come together, especially at the weigh-in. They're both ripped to shreds, and Francis is huge, as we know, but a massive fight. And like you say, I don't think you would have said this was the fight necessarily 6 months ago, 8 months ago, but it's the biggest fight out there right now that makes the most sense commercially as well. Francis Ngannou, we saw what he did against Tyson Fury in that fight. The performance he put in, went in there against who many perceive to be the #1 heavyweight right now in the sport, and held his own in there in just his first fight. I think AJ's in unbelievable form. I think the momentum of his career, his 4th fight in just 11 months, I think that's going to be key for him, going into this fight as well. I think you've seen so many improvements over the last year. But yeah, I think I think it's a great night. I think we're in for something exciting, but I think you're going to see a great performance from Anthony Joshua.
Just how good is Francis Ngannou?
I don't know. You know me, I don't know enough. I'm not the tactician. I don't know about boxing. I think the biggest thing about heavyweight boxing and Francis Ngannou, look at the size of him.
He can bang.
Yeah, but anyone who's 17, 18 stone, the reality is at the top level they can bang. And that's why we love heavyweight boxing. He
looks like he can bang, plus, this sounds really weird now, but like, he's got extra bang.
He's got extra bang.
Yeah. You see the little Gymshark thing?
Oh, what, the machine?
And he's like half-assed punched it, and it's just flew straight to 999.
Do you think he'd stop you with one punch?
No.
No.
Of course he would.
You think you could take...
No, of course
do you think
he
if
would.
you're there like that, like ready, like with legs in the right
no,
place?
absolutely not. Absolutely not. You? Could you soak a body shot?
Oh, God, no. I can soak a body
hardest-
shot off of anyone.
Who's the hardest fight?
Couldn't soak a body shot off a flyweight.
Me?
I don't think I could take one off a
We've
flyweight.
body sparred.
Yeah, but you're not a boxer.
No, I'm not.
I don't think I could take a body shot off a professional boxer of really any weight.
What, one? I think you could take one.
I think it's just about placement. It's about like they just put you down. I'm not ripped to shreds like you, Parsons.
I'm not ripped to shreds, but we are training for a little marathon number. Exciting. Tyson Fury. When I interviewed him, he came out and he said it was a great fight, but when I fought him, it was a mismatch and he was useless, but he proved everyone wrong. I put him on the map and I made him a multi-millionaire. Now I'm making him more money. He needs to thank me and get on his knees and kiss my feet for what I've done for him. What do you make of those comments?
I think Francis did it as well by getting in the ring and going in there, as I say, against the number one heavyweight and putting in the performance he did. Don't get me wrong. It was the two of them coming together that made it what it was. But, you know, it's Francis went in there and did the work. And he proved a point that night. And that's why he's in the position he's in now, because of the work he did. Just
on the Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk front, we've seen a lot of sort of criticism, as you always do, and we've seen it with AJ when he loses, or whenever anything happens that halts momentum or whatever, the public get on your back. In this case, a lot of, I suppose, there's been ex-world champions, there's been pundits, whatever, saying that the cut may be fake. What do you make of that sort of thing?
I mean, there's a lot easier ways to pull out of a fight if you want to pull out of a fight than cutting your eye open, which could affect you in future fights down the road. I think the issue or the problem Tyson's got is because he's so outspoken about people. Obviously, when something like this happens, everyone's going to be outspoken about him. You know, and that's just life. That's part of, you know, being the person he is. It's going to come back the other way. But I think a lot of these people saying it's faked or he's done it himself. I mean, it's a pretty wild thing to do. Just pull out with a leg injury, I'm sure, if he wanted to or something like that.
First hand, I mean, you would have been asked for years about Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. We feel that maybe even regardless of results, that it could be...
results are irrelevant.
That it could be the most likely time to happen. When I caught up with Spencer Brown, he said that he'd spoke with the Saudis and there is a possibility that fight could go to the UK. Now, it's financials. It may be the first fight being Saudi and the rematch being the UK or something along those lines, but they are open to the idea and it would be a huge statement of intent. You can still do the 2030 tourism push and everything and hold it in the UK. On your side, do you think this could be a reality?
I think anything's possible. I think the key for me is we want to see the fight. And however that happens, however that's made possible, let's do it. You know, and again, results for me in that fight are irrelevant. You know, I think when it comes to boxing now, people want to see real fights. We want to see the best fights out there, and the best fighting the best, and you know, in fights that intrigue people. And that's probably one of the biggest fights in boxing, regardless of results.
What happens when Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, well, if they do get in the ring with each other?
They box each other. AJ knocks out Tyson Fury
in
the boxing ring.
Nice. Smooth.
It's like a game.
Blunt
it's like a game show. You like it, don't you? It's right. No, I'm still the same person. People watching this are like, oh my goodness. Like, if you don't know me, I'm actually quite dry and sarcastic.
But to the point where it's actually good crack.
Yeah, great crack.
Yeah.
I don't think it comes
really annoying.
I don't think it comes across.
What about when we flew back from Detroit? And you just winded me up for 3 hours.
No, not me. Wouldn't do that. But
telling me to jump on a flight to Cuba.
You should have jumped on a flight to Cuba. What I said to you that day was, if anyone ever gives you an opportunity to do something you've never done before, do it.
Thailand.
Yeah, but don't come up. Yeah, but that's your job now. But what I'm saying is, if someone says, "Do you want to come to Cuba, mate?" and you're in the airport in the lounge and you've got nothing to do on Monday, go to Cuba
For a day.
I mean, like, yeah, do it.
Fair enough. Let's talk about the undercard. 2 fights specifically, and then we'll move on to the world of boxing as a whole. Zhang Parker. Zhilei Zhang we saw go life and death on a Matchroom show with Jerry Forrest a couple of years ago. Now finds himself in arguably the hot seat. Fights Joseph Parker, who's also in a tremendous position. Great fight, co-main event. The cards are absolutely stacked out here. Your thoughts on that clash?
Yeah, brilliant fight. I love both those guys. We worked with them for a long time. I think it just shows as well that losses really are irrelevant now in a lot of ways. When you look at Joseph Parker after he got stopped by Joe Joyce, who would have thought he'd then go on to fight Deontay Wilder, beat Deontay Wilder, now be here fighting Zilla? Like, it just, on the best night they can all beat each other, but people want to see real fights, and respect to both those guys because they've taken real fights back to back, and I think it's a brilliant fight and a big fight, an important fight for the heavyweight division.
How does it go?
I think they ring walk, then they get in the ring.
No, because you've rinsed it.
No, honestly, I like them both. I think it's a brilliant fight. I think I like Zhang's build up to it with the stuff he's coming out with. You know, I bang things and I'm going to bang you.
Yeah, chat shit, get zhanged and
Chat
all
shit,
sorts.
yeah. He's brilliant value
good
for that. It's quite endearing, and I love Joshua Parker.
Yeah.
So I think it's a brilliant fight, and looking forward to seeing it.
You spent much time with Frank Warren yet? And I actually, you know, when we were here for the Day of Reckoning, I sort of toyed with the idea of maybe you and Dev doing something. I did mention it to Dev, not recently, but on that week, and I think he is up for it. So is there any chance of a Frank Smith, Dev Sani, the Stomping Ground collaboration this week?
What, an interview?
Yeah.
Sure thing, mate. I'll do anything for you. Anything you want.
Great, mate.
I saw Frank briefly yesterday. It was a busy day, but I'm sure we'll see him over the next few days. No, I'd left the green tea bags at home. I couldn't get them into, couldn't fly in with them. So I'm trying to source some green tea. But if anyone knows any shops where I can buy green tea, I'm going to go and get it for my mate Frank.
Vargas versus Bull.
Brilliant fight. Brilliant
Hanger.
fight. Size difference as well.
Mad.
That is wild.
Yeah.
But Nick Bull's, you know, he's had a tremendous career already. He's got this opportunity now, and yeah, great fight. Looking forward to that one. Sets up some big fights down the road as well. 5v5.
Are the weight divisions being announced this week?
Yes, that's the plan.
When?
Not sure. Some point this week. Not the fighters themselves, but the weight divisions, and then the fighters will follow.
Fighters, is it going to be like as we expect? It's going to be like a fight week thing where we find out, or like how do we know all the ins and outs yet, or is he still sort of working
Let's
it out?
see. I'm sure there'll be some updates this week.
Okay, no.
And then the
teasers,
five-a-side
no
top football tournament as well. We got in the week as well.
This week?
No, 5v5 week. Matchroom v Queensberry.
Oh, swear.
Yeah, going to put Eddie in goal because he's like the biggest lump.
Yeah, is Eddie any good at football? Are you any good at football,
mate?
Bit of tech. That's a little roulette and that.
What's a roulette?
Oh, come on. You can't
roulette and that.
Not yeah, true.
Yeah. Anyway, next one.
Anthony Joshua meeting John Fury. What did you make of that? I love Big John. I've always loved Big John. I do kiss his arse a little bit because he petrifies me. But I think he's great.
Petrifies a lot of people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he looked very friendly, looked very amicable between the two of them. I walked past him yesterday hoping he wouldn't realise who I was with my haircut. That's why I shaved my hair off.
Did he know who you was?
No.
Really?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
I mean, he did say in an interview once he was going to beat Eddie Hearn up in his little, tag-along.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, so, I was hoping he wouldn't remember who the tag-along was.
Do you think he'd stick it on you out here?
No.
No.
I'm a friendly guy.
You are?
He'd probably start, I'll tell him a few jokes, he'd start laughing.
The blunt jokes, maybe you'd have to edit them a little bit for Big John, maybe. Dillian Whyte, cleared by the Texas Commission. Have you had any correspondence with him and his team?
No, look, they've, I'm sure, been working on it ever since that, or what happened in August. He hasn't boxed in 18 months. I'm sure he'll be excited to get back in the ring, but no conversations yet. But yeah, I'm sure it's been a long, enduring process that he's been through. Will
you reach out to the team, and are there fight options there with Matchroom and Dillian Whyte?
I'm sure there'll be opportunities for sure. We've promoted 16, 18 of Dillian Whyte's fights. It's about what fight he wants to take next. As I say, he's had 18 months out of the ring now, so he's got to decide how he wants to get back in there, what type of fight, and then go from there. There's big fights to be made in the heavyweight division, but he probably needs a win before he gets in those fights, I think.
Any update on Conor Benn's hearing?
Any day. We've been saying that for a long time, but anything.
Frustrated?
No, that's what it is, isn't it? You know, like you can't get frustrated. It is what it is. We have to just wait and see. But hoping for good news very soon.
Potential opponents and fights. We know that also Terrence Crawford is a free agent. I think so. Originally, the plan was to obviously fought Caribe Royale back in September.
Yeah, then fought in February.
Vegas out in Feb, and then it was meant to be another tick over in April, but I believe that's not the case now.
No, with the time frames.
Into a big fight.
Yeah, with the time frames as well in terms of getting this back. The date of doing for me, the focus should be getting him back in the UK. He's in the top 4 biggest names of British boxing. We want to get him fighting in the UK, and we want to deliver him the biggest fight possible. You
spoke to Kell Brook or the Sauerlands regarding Chris Eubank. We hear that they may have a potential fight eyed up between one another.
I think let's see. Nothing's, as far as I'm aware, nothing's signed. Look, I feel a lot of people have given up on the Eubank fight. I've said in multiple interviews this week, it's my own personal, not Matchroom, not Conor Benn, my personal venture is to try and...
It's gone past its date.
No, look, it's a huge fight, it's a massive fight, but I think a lot of people feel frustrated and it hasn't happened and have sort of said, right, park that, let's focus on everything else. Eddie's now focusing on the other fights, and it's my sole focus, personally, to try and... I want to do it, whether I'm 80 years old or 31 that I am now.
I believe the shortlist of 4 is Garcia, Ennis, Brook, or Crawford. Correct?
Maybe some others.
Well, it was a shortlist of 4. So is that the 4?
Maybe not. Who knows? One of life's great. I'm not involved in the outside of... I'm on my own
dream.
Leave
that for Eddie
I'm on my own dream world of trying to make a fight that everyone else has given up on.
Oh. Ooh. Everyone else has given up on?
Well, I just said it, Eubank.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm trying to do that. I'll let everyone else do the real.
Right, cool. Terrence Crawford, free agency. Yeah. Any conversations?
I spoke to his team a couple of times. Yeah, I'd love to look at opportunities. I guess it depends as well on weight division. What he'll be looking to move to 154 possibly. But yeah, let's see.
Ryan Garcia. This is a bit weird, isn't it? Like, what is going on? Are you concerned that with this fight being on sale, with the press conferences happening, with then him, everything that we've seen on social media, then his family, his ex-wife coming out and putting like quite public messages, him saying that he's been taken advantage of and his bank cards have been taken off him, and now the fight's supposedly happening? What is going on? Like, from a duty of care perspective, I mean, where are we at with it all?
No, look, that will be something his family will be working through, I'm sure, in Golden Boy. I'm sure they won't put him in a position which is detrimental to himself, but it's not something directly we're involved in. As far as, currently I saw the note yesterday, the fight goes ahead, that he's saying, but I'm sure he's got a good group of people around him who will look after him and take care of him. His family are very close to him. His dad and mum are very close to him. His dad's obviously training with him as well. So, that's something they'll be working through.
Is there not a bit of a concern when you've got tickets on sale and then stuff like this starts happening? I mean, obviously firsthand you're representing Haney or sort of working with Haney.
No, but I think the right now, the focus will be to ignore tickets on sale, ignore the event. If there's a reason for the fight not to happen, and that's what's decided, then it wouldn't happen. But that's something Golden Boy will be dealing with on behalf of Ryan Garcia.
Canelo supposedly in talks with PBC again. They've sort of recommenced about a return in May. I think with Munguia. And then Charlo in September. Any update? Are you still speaking, or is Eddie still speaking with Canelo team?
Yeah, Eddie speaks to Canelo and Eddie Reynoso and the team. Let's see what happens. He obviously had his contract with PBC, so we'll see how things play out. Obviously we would love to work with Canelo Alvarez. Any promoter would want to work with Canelo Alvarez. So let's see how things play out.
An update on Katie Taylor. We saw Chantel Cameron has now joined the Steel City Gym in Sheffield. Is that the target for May? It was the week, I believe, between the 18th and June the 1st. So that would be the 25th of May? At the
25th of May is the date we got held at the Three Arena.
Yeah.
Still
Chantel Cameron?
Working through it.
Could it be Serrano?
No, not Serrano. Could be someone else, but we're working through it now.
MMA?
No.
Not an MMA fighter.
Shoot,
So it could be someone other than Chantel Cameron.
Yes, yeah.
What weight division? An exciting name that's going to sell, like, she's going to sell the Free Arena anyway.
Yeah.
Like a
We're working through it now.
big fight?
Always big fights.
Okay.
Katie Taylor. She's the biggest star in well, she's one of the biggest stars in the sport, and definitely in female boxing. You know, unrivaled.
Frank Smith, a pleasure. Thank you for speaking to us.
Charlie, big potatoes Parsons.
Oh,
Thank you
dear.
for speaking to us.
Why
Appreciate
that?
you making the time.
Why the bit at the end, the big potatoes bit?
I don't know.
Because I've never changed my act.
Well, I mean,
oh come on,
a little bit. But anyway, we'll talk about it separately.
Frank Smith, thank you very much.
Cheers, Parsons.